Okay. I was curious as if it was just going to be cutscenes until credits, but... You know that you will ever be welcome at House Forton. Now away with you. I dare not keep you any longer. It was funny. I think somewhere, like, I took a quick glance at the quest objective and then back to Edmund to talk to him. And in that glance, I didn't actually read it. And I think I read Raubon in there. And then as I was talking to him, I was like, why the hell would I go to Raubon? I thought I was supposed to go to the Rising Stones. Okay, here's cutscene. Tataru's back.
By the 12! I don't believe it!
I was thinking we should be getting an outfit from her now, shouldn't we?
I rushed back as soon as I could. I swear, my heart nearly stopped when I heard you'd collapse like the others. What in heaven's name is going on?
And interestingly, now that we've talked to Grawha, I don't think he'll try again. So we're pretty safe from the headaches and all that.
Win or lose, the path you walk leads only to oblivion. Oh, well, that's helpful. And what else did he say? The better path leads to him? If his is the voice you've all been hearing, perhaps the others are with him. Sir Emmerich said the fighting had reached a stalemate, didn't he? But if that monster masquerading as Xenos comes back... Thancred, Yestola, Urianger, Alphano, Alize. You're going to need all of them on your side to defeat him. And I forbid you from going to face him on your own, do you hear me? So if you must leave, go and find the others. Bring them home.
Poor crying Tataru. Makes me emotional. Cute little potato.
As for where to start, you said the stranger had left a beacon for you at the Crystal Tower, right? But how are you to find it, now that the tower has been sealed shut? There has to be a way. If anyone would know, it's Sid and the researchers of St. Coinac's find. Don't you worry, we'll find that beacon for you.
Isn't it actually outside anyway? Like, not inside? Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. So is this when real Xenos comes back, or is that later? I don't remember if that's something that happens in Shadowbringers, or...
I pray you have good reason for abandoning the front.
How could I remain there while the rumor that my son is possessed by a demon spreads like a sickness here at home? I will not be made to fight for the throne a second time. But what of you? Did you not tell me you would destroy Eorzea's champion with the ease that one might swat a fly?
A minor setback. She will not escape me again. Where is your grandsire? I would have words with him.
How should I know? Do you hide from each other's sight as well? I imagine he's doing what all Ascians do.
He must have found a way to take advantage of this turmoil.
Men are not pawns to be played with, Ascian. You underestimate us at your peril. This war will not be decided by you and yours. Man must choose his own fate, and I, for my part, will do all within my power to see Garlemald emerge victorious.
He's right in sentiment, just not the reality of it all. Or the practicality. How he thinks he should go about it. Oh, and there's the two...
Pray forgive the intrusion, Your Radiance, but the requested preparations are now complete. We stand ready to begin production of Black Rose upon your order.
Oh. What the hell is that supposed to mean? For reals though, is this going to the credits? Wow. That's one hell of a way to end an expansion. Was Xenos's, or not Xenos, Varys's crazy face. Okay, well, now that that's done, I'm gonna cut that down a bit. Yeah, so I mean, Stormblood is over. Impressions. I think I would have to say this may not be the popular opinion, but I think Stormblood is actually better than Heavensward. I think with one kind of minor exception that I can think of. And that's the fact that I think having your main villain in the 0.3 patch serve Heavensward better than like a known villain that was kind of starting to turn good, but then quickly turned bad again, and then, evolved into a primal or whatever that we had no previous knowledge of. It doesn't hit like Nidhogg. you know, or even getting into Shadowbringers like Elidibus. Like that, it made for a weak ending to that expansion, because that's what the point threes are. They're the ending to the expansion. Where, yeah, just while the Tsukiyomi fight and the story and everything was great, like it did not hit like the others did for an ending for an expansion. But as far as the overall like journey of the expansion, the characters and everything, I just think Stormblood was better. I don't have the complaints about Lise that many others do. I think her characterization and the journey she was on was really good. I think they did a good job of kind of showing her learning along the way. What have we got here? Okay, and then it just goes into that. I was just like, are they doing like a mid-credits cutscene? But I think having her learn on the journey along the way was really cool. I think Hien was a great character and a great kind of pseudo mentor, pseudo, what would you call it? Peer for, have him be that for Lise, I think was really interesting. Again, I love the stories for Dola and Yotsuyu. I just, to me, again, I've mentioned it, I like those digging into kind of the moral and ethical questions of war and just humanity in general that I don't think Heavensward really touched on. I mean, beyond obviously the overarching story of Ishgard, which I think was great. But even that, I think, was a bit more straightforward as to like what is good and what is bad in this scenario. Where in this case, it really has you exploring the different sides of it all. Which again is touched on in Shadowbringers, and I'll wait till then to do it. But I think there was just deeper character development in Stormblood than there was in Heavensward. Because for as great a characters as we had in Heavensward, in Horsefant and Estinian and Ysael, and even, like Aymeric and Edmont and, others like that, it didn't get as deep into the actual personal lives and the feelings and the psyche and everything that Stormblood did. Again, with Fordola, Yotsuyu, even a bit of Lise and Hien and Gotsetsu. Oh, it's just to me, there's just more memorable characters in Stormblood. People complain of the quote-unquote split storyline in Stormblood, and I don't see it that way. To me, it was like I could see the complaints of being split between Girabanya, which is by and large an ugly area. It's a wasteland. Or would you call it like Badlands or what? It's just, there's no vegetation really. It's just not a very pretty area where you compare that to, the Ruby Sea and Yanxia and Azim Steppe. Oh God. And then character wise, Azim Steppe, I mean, personal opinion, Azim Steppe, just location wise, the look of it, the characters, the storyline, to me, it just beats anything that was in Heavensward. I mean, you could take Heavensward as a whole and it maybe beats Azim Steppe, but you compare Azim Steppe to any zone in Heavensward, it's no contest. None whatsoever. everything in the MSQ that happened in Nazim's Step was absolute gold. Yeah, it's just no comparison to me. And then if you add on, again, it's a bit of a cheat because it's up to the point 3 is the storyline of the expansion, and then after that is really a lead-in to the next expansion. And I mean, you know, the lead-in to Stormblood is just, it's not going to beat the lead-in to Shadowbringers. It's just not. So having that in there as well, to me, just makes Stormblood that much better. But yeah, as far as the narrative, like, I think the main distinction to me when I hear people's arguments about, oh, you know, the two different storylines, is mostly the locations, you know, because Garabanya just is not very nice looking zones. They're just not. But the story there isn't bad. And the story from Garabanya to Othard, back to Garabanya, it's all one story. And it, you know, it's all the same characters. Some of them may switch out as to who's kind of like, you know, the lead character in that area, but it's still all the same story arc. And again, we're with like Alphino and Alize and either Lys or Hien or, you know, Ishtola or whoever along the way. So yeah, I don't get that criticism. I mean, I'll admit though, some of this may be just due to the fact that Stormblood is a bit fresher to me. It's, you know, I'm still kind of technically in it. But again, Heavensward was like 2 weeks ago, so it's not that much. Stormblood is not that much more fresh. I mean, come on. That scene alone beats out all of Heavensward. Again, I mean, it's still, I would still put, you know, from bottom to top, A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers. It just gets better and better and better as it goes. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed. It's interesting because of all the criticisms to Stormblood, just like the criticisms to A Realm Reborn. Coming back through this New Game Plus playthrough, I was really curious as to what it was going to be like. Especially because Stormblood was disjointed for me, because that's, like I've mentioned many times, was the biggest break I had taken from the game was in the middle of Stormblood. I mean, in the middle of the patch content, but it just created a disjointedness in my head as to the story of everything. And why I, you know, in retrospect, before doing this New Game Plus, I could say that, yeah, Heavensward was probably better than Stormblood, but to me, it just... And then, you know, I mean, the reintroduction of Gaius, the introduction of Solus, which I know was just at the very end, but I love that character. Again, because of Shadowbringers, not because of what we saw in Stormblood, but... there were so many other elements, like, you know, again, it was toward the end of Stormblood, but the introduction of playing as other characters in the solo instances and stuff was really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is New Game Plus. It's mostly about the story, but I think even systems-wise, a lot of the things they introduced in Stormblood, I think was certainly better than a lot of the stuff introduced in Heavensward. I mean, you know, and a lot of it was built upon what was introduced in Heavensward and so on and so forth, but yeah, I think Stormblood was better. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it, you know, again, like I said, it's all great. It's not like I'm knocking Heavensward, you know. it's all high up there. I mean, to me, again, like overall, I would say I'm definitely on the higher end of what people would rate the overall game in each of the expansions, because I really enjoyed A Realm Reborn, where other people find it to just be this boring slog, where I don't feel that at all. Like, nothing about it was boring, nothing about it was a slog. You know, so I'm going to rate, that's just to say everything is rated high, and, you know, my preference of Stormblood over Heavensward should definitely not be seen as a personal attack on anybody who believes the reverse. And as long as you came at me with like a thoughtful rebuttal, I would be like, fine, that's cool. I mean, we still believe what we believe in. You might actually change my mind, but we believe what we believe. But it's the people that, you know, come at anything by basically just saying, this was trash, this was garbage, this was horrible. You know, it's like, okay, you're not even thinking about what you're saying. You're just, you know, throwing out, what's the word I'm thinking of? Kind of exaggerated speech or whatever. But yeah, just so good. And I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. Because again, this is really just about the story, and I think I've hit on everything that I wanted to hit on. At least that I can think of right now. Again, love the story. Don't agree with the criticisms I've heard. Love the characters. Again, I would put the characters introduced, and just, again, now this is something that, just by way of Stormblood being essentially like a sequel or whatever to Heavensward, the further character development of characters is going to win out, you know, just because we're getting more character developments on even characters that were established in Heavensward. And so that's just going to make it a bit better. That's almost something to really objectively look at it. I don't know. You know, you'd have to kind of put it off to the side. There's our boy. Yeah, that's Shadowbringers is definitely. I mean, by the time I get to that, there's not that much left to be spoiled, but definitely for anybody that's watching this that doesn't want to be spoiled, which I don't know why. If you don't want to be spoiled, I don't know why you know, watch this stream. But like, I've been thinking to myself, it's like, I know I've designated this as a spoiler plus, which means not only will it spoil the stuff that you're currently watching, but I'm going to talk about stuff in Shadowbringers and beyond or whatever. But I still would thought to myself, should I refer to him as the Crystal Exarch or Exarch? Or it's like, no, it's Graha. This is a spoiler stream or whatever. I'm just, I can't wait for Shadowbringers. So anyway, I think I've said everything I can say. I think, so I'm just going to skip ahead. See whatever cutscenes we've got in store. Okay, nothing yet, but some people to talk to. What's Rial got for us? I thought things couldn't get any worse when the Garleans were gearing up for war. Then word reached me the Scions were in trouble. We need to find that beacon and find it quick. Yeah, and that's the kind of crappy thing. It's like, oh, there's this beacon, so you're going to go do that right now, right? Right? Like, no, it's still going to be like another... I don't know exactly when 4.56 came out in relation to Shadowbringers launch, but if it's anything like this is now, it's still probably like another 3 months. I know they didn't have the Rona back then to delay things, but I still think there's like a 6-month gap between the last patch and the expansion. Anyway. Everyone labors tirelessly to fulfill the Scion's duties in their absence, and yet I sometimes wonder what worth yet remains in these old bones of mine. I mean, if nothing else, you know, there's the wisdom and experience you've got, you know, to pass on. Grandfather doubts his ability to contribute to the Scions, and try as I might, I cannot assuage his doubts. Would that Home was here. He would know what to say. I'm afraid there is still no change in the Scion's condition, and the means to wake them from their slumber yet eludes us. I pray this beacon at the Crystal Tower might guide us to an answer. Our brothers and sisters are fallen, 'tis true, but duty will not afford us time to wallow in misery. Until they are returned to us, we must work twice as hard. It would be nice for them to know there's nothing you can do. Just take care of them, you know, make sure to turn them over from time to time so they don't get bed sores, and it'll get fixed in time. In the light of the present condition of the Scions, even Rial has returned from a field. Never has there been a greater need to marshal our resources. My brother says he will work twice as hard in the Scion's stead, which likely means I must work thrice as hard if I am to match his pace. I just immediately got a flash of like the Crystarium, because I was thinking of, you know, after each of these quests, people move around. I want to talk to them, see what's going on, but I was thinking it doesn't really work that way in Shadowbringers, because there's just not like this whole crew to talk to. I never realized just how critical a role the Archons played in all that we do here. It won't be easy to make up for their absence. Thankfully, like, I think the whole events of Shadowbringers only take place over like a week or two, maybe a month. And probably not even that. I think it's like a week or two here on the source. You needn't worry about the Scions. Ochre, my sister, and I have been keeping over them in shifts ever since they arrived in the Rising Stones. If only they would give us some sign of stirring. All right. Okay, I was expecting a cutscene after the credits, but maybe it was like that with Heavensward too. It wasn't until after we talked to the quest giver that there was the last cutscene. I don't know. Let's find out. I knew you'd be all right, and to celebrate your return, I made you this. Ah, here's the outfit. A brand new traveling outfit. Oh, I do hope it fits. Yeah, I think I may have already said it, but I was contemplating between the one I've got on now and this next outfit for this New Game Plus run. But I went with the one that looked a bit heavier, you know, for the Dark Knight. But now is not the time to fuss over your measurements. I must go to fuss over my measurements. I must go and speak with the researchers of St. Koinek's find. You go and rest while we track down that beacon. I guess that's what takes time, is the finding of the beacon. There we go. I knew there had to be a cutscene at the end. Oh, right. Yeah, I thought he was already back in his body by this time. I thought we fought the real Xenos. here, but and this is further confirmation that this is the real Xenos.
My enemy. My friend. Had I been but a step faster.
Yeah, he thinks he's resistance.
Bloody savages!
Or is that, Gridania? No, that's resistance attire that he's in, I think. Alamegan.
A pity your hunt leads you elsewhere. Not that I am surprised. May you find joy in it. Grow stronger, more savage, and savor every triumph. In the meantime, I will reclaim that which is rightfully mine.
It's interesting how he thinks what we do is the hunt as well. This just made me think of the end of Shadowbringers. Similar place. Well, a bit further out, but... Oh, this is toward looking at the Crystal Tower. The anticipation. In the midst of a requiem for heroes, a voice rings out across time and space. In fields of tranquil light, sow you seeds of darkness. Thank you for watching this video. Tonight's stream, like so many of them, particularly recently, was absolutely excellent. We finished off Stormblood. And as just a quick preview of the usual review I give during, the credits of the expansion, it was phenomenal. And I think I may actually like Stormblood more than Heavensward. Ooh. But yeah, and so now we'll be moving on to Shadowbringers, which I've been looking forward to so much. So yeah, if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to come join me live, which I would much appreciate, the link to my Twitch is in the description down below. Thank you again for watching, and have a good one.